Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on the Hobo's Hollow 4X map for our full shop challenge, the playthrough in which we aim to buy every single vehicle and piece of equipment in the farm shop, as well as farm every single field with every single crop type, have every production chain, yada yada yada. Today it is March, we've moved forward. We need to, first things first, we need to fill up the greenhouses with a little bit more water because they will be running slightly low. They both have about 12,000 out of 20,000 liters. First I'm going to visit the grain shop, grain mill, sorry. We've got a few pallets of flour stored here as well as a few ready to spawn when we move these off, so we'll have to take care of that. We've also got some bread spawning in here at our bakery we bought. Last episode we set up some productions. And as you can see, they're working well. That may not look like much, but that's about $20,000 to $25,000 right there, with more to spawn in at a later time. Let's get this water filled up, and then we're actually going to be planting our corn today. We've got a couple of fields ready to plant, so we're going to be taking care of that. I do also need to check and see the greenhouses. Yep, so we've got a few pallets, 3 with one greenhouse and 4 with another. Since one of them has spawned a lettuce pallet, I would assume the other one's about to, but hasn't yet. Here's our field of canola we planted in the first episode. It is growing slowly but steadily. And then we've also got a field of wheat, much larger than this one. Let's go have a look at that on the map. Field 1 has wheat. You can see the size comparison. There's 4 compared to 1, so much larger. And then here's 2 and 3. We combine them together with a plow, and we will be planting them together today as corn. Now, the wheat is most likely going to be used. We're going to store the straw, probably sell that, actually. We're going to turn the wheat into flour again, as we did just buy that production, so we're going to want to keep it fully stocked as much as we can. As you may have noticed, we did run out of grain, so all of our grain is out. There's no more wheat, barley, oat, or sorghum stored up. We do have 5,000 liters of flour, though, so the bottleneck is going to be how much crop we can put into the grain mill and how fast the bakery can produce bread with the flour that we're making. I would guess the slower one is going to be the bakery, so once we get that figured out on how much it's going to take, then we can start to throw wheat and barley at some chickens, potentially, once we figure out how fast our bakery is going to be working. So that'll be one thing that we need to get figured out, and potentially some of that wheat will go towards some chickens. I do hope that we get quite a bit of yield from that field. It was big. It may not look huge on the map, but this is a 4X map, so it is 4 times as large as it looks if you're comparing it to a normal-sized map, which I have a feeling most of you would. Let's hope the old 4755 can pull this thing out. I did go with the medium-sized tanker trailer. Let's have a look at them. There are a couple of small plastic-type ones. Also got the Yoskin Aquatrans, the Lizard MKS-8, and the MKS-32. So 8,000 liters, 32,000 liters. Eventually we'll be getting there. But for now, we don't need a giant water tanker for a couple of greenhouses, so we've just got the little one here. And 3... well, we should just need 2, because they're at 12,000 out of 20,000, so with one of these, we'll fill up one of the greenhouses. With another one, we'll get the other one filled. And then we'll be moving on towards planting. We're also going to take a look at any contracts that need done to see if there's anything worth our while. Matter of fact, I'll just do that on the way back. There is one contract, Field 8. That's close by. We'll be buying that one soon. That one right there. It's got some corn. Well, it had corn. It's been harvested, but it is looking to be planted again. So they're going to plow it up. We are running with everything turned on except for Fieldstone, I believe. Let's just have a look at that. Oh no, Fieldstone is on. So we've got everything on. Precision Farming DLC, which means we have to spread lime and fertilizer to reach the optimum levels of yield. We also have to not drive over our crops when they're at a mature state so that they don't get destroyed. We have to plow after certain fields certain crops get used, we have to pick the stone so that our planters don't get damaged, and we have to spray off the weeds so they don't choke out our crops and cause us to lose some yield. Just in case you've missed one of the first 2 episodes, feel free to check those out. There will be a link down in the description below so you can check out the playlist for the series in case you want to catch up on anything you've missed. As well as a few other series I've done on my channel in case you're curious. Maybe you like what you see and want to see more. Anyways, I'll quit talking and get to farming. Well, we've got the greenhouses filled with water. Now it's time for a difficult decision. Let's hop in the Fendt, take it to the store, because we've got to buy a planter. And the difficult decision is, of course, which planter to buy. I have no idea. I have looked at a few. I guess I do have an idea. I shouldn't say I don't have any idea. Let's go ahead and get it ready for that. We'll just drive over to the store, park in the driveway probably, and then we'll look at what we want to get. Now, obviously, the goal of this series is to own every single one of these. Yes, even the tiny 3 meter wide ones. But for now, what we're looking for, we do have about $100,000. We don't want to spend all of that. So, you know, these big boy planters, not really what we're looking for. Could go with the Maestro 9.75. It's 6.7 meters, goes 9 miles an hour, and can plant everything that a normal planter can do. Has a tiny little storage, 630 liters, so we'd have to go with a partner here to hold some extra seeds in there. Secondly, we could go with this Lemken, but that is not a direct drill, whereas the Maestro, also not a direct drill. We can also do this K-brand Maxima 3-till, 595 liters. The Lemken has 600 liters, which is the most. Plus, the Lemken also has a 2,000 liter front tank. The K-brand has a 1,500 liter front tank. The Horsch, I believe it's 1,600. Yes, 1,600 liters. So, those are our 3 options. The most expensive is the Horsch. It's also the biggest. These 2 are 6 meters wide. They both do, well, this one does 6 miles an hour. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say no for that one. So that leaves the Lemken, which is 9 miles an hour, and the Horsch, which is also 9, but it's a slightly bigger. And I think I'm going to go with this one. Do we want fertilizer? That would be nice. We're definitely going with the track loosening tines just to keep it real. That goes right behind the tractor's tires to break up the compacted soil that the tractor drives over. We don't need the ridge markers, so we'll save $2,500 there. Now, the fertilizer distribution unit. What that means is that would make the Horsch partner, the front tank on the front, filled with fertilizer. We'd have a little pipe going over our tractor, and then it would pump fertilizer from the front tank into the ground, whereas the seed boxes on the back of the planter would be filled with seed. If we go without the fertilizer distribution unit, then the thing on the front would just be seeds. And honestly, I don't know which one I want to go with. I think, just for now, I'm going to go ahead and go with no. That could eventually change. My reason for doing that is I definitely want more storage for seeds as of now. Just because I don't have a solid way. Ooh, that was expensive. Okay, I did not mean to spend that much. That's a problem. Shoot. And of course I gotta wait on the tractor. We'll leave that there for now. Thankfully we do have some seeds already here, so we don't need to buy any more, hopefully. Come on. Oh, that's the wrong way. Go figure. I don't think I'm gonna fit through there. Let's just pop the Maestro on the back. Hopefully this can fold up. Looky there, it can. And it's weird, it's got 5 rows on the one side, 4 on the other. It's asymmetrical. As you can see. It's got 1 row down over here. I think that's pretty interesting. Oop. There we go. Let's open up that cover and fill her with seed. Fill her up, Chuck. Boom. That is a... I like that sound. The little doot 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 as it shuts the seed boxes. I like that. Okay. Let's get this thing back home so we can plant some corn. There's the field. The big white L-shaped rectangle thingy. Whoa. I didn't recognize that. The road has like a steep dip-off thing. That could spell trouble for taking big old air seeders or something on the road. That's unfortunate. Alright, let's get her fired up. Very nice. I like that texture. The same as base game textures, of course, but still a good one. We'll get cracking on this. Shouldn't take us too overly long. This is not a huge cedar planter, sorry, but it's not tiny, so, you know, the fields are also not tiny, so yeah, we'll just have to see how long it takes. It has been spread with lime. We should get some decent yield out of it, but we will need to spread some fertilizer. Corn needs a lot of nitrogen, so we're definitely going to be spraying some fertilizer here. We do have the tools for that, though. We've got a favorite 515C that would love to spread some fertilizer, whether liquid or solid. We'll just have to figure that out when we get there. Enjoy the time lapse, guys. We got the field planted and rolled with corn. Well, we didn't roll it with corn. We planted it with corn, then we rolled it. Now we're going to go ahead and get the fertilizer spreader to get our yields maxed out. We are getting close to running out of money. We have $8,123. And I don't know when our next paycheck comes in. Oh, that's right. I forgot. We need to sell the sunflowers in March. And the price is dropping. So let's go ahead and do that, actually, before we spread fertilizer. I can't believe I forgot that. We'll get the Fendt 936 hooked up to the trailer right over there, the orange thing. Fill it up with the sunflowers and go and get them sold. Should bring in about $15,000. And then in June or July, we'll have the soybeans to sell as well. So we're not inevitably going to run out of money. We might be close, but I think we'll be okay. Anyways, I'll go and get the Fendt and get that stuff sold. Here we are. Let's see what kind of money we make from these. The time-saving stock check was predicting about $14,800, I believe. We'll see what that ends up being. Yep, $14,800 plus the $500 environmental score reward. So we're at a lot better place than we were, but $25,000 still not enough to be comfortable. Remember, we started this with 500 grand, and now we're down to 23. We're definitely going to have to figure out some ways to be making some good cash. And I think the bread is going to be a very good way of making some money. We've got 45,000 liters of flour waiting at the bakery being produced into bread, and that can all be sold. The bread can be sold in January, so in the meantime, we're going to be harvesting our fields of wheat and canola. We'll harvest the field of corn, and we'll have all of that grain to sell. We'll sell the canola and the corn. The wheat is going to be turned into flour and maybe to feed some chickens too, depending on how much of it we get. And then after that, obviously we'll be selling stuff from the greenhouse and moving that around. But yeah, by next winter we should have a pretty solid payday. So that should be pretty good. I'm looking forward to that. Anyways, we're going to go back to the farm, get the fertilizer spreader, and spread our fields, and then we'll be moving on into the next month, possibly. As you can see down on the mini-map, it's going from a red to a nice mustard yellow. That means we're getting our nitrogen value from the red, which is bad, up to a mustard yellow, which apparently for this field is what it needs. Corn typically takes a lot of fertilizer. I was under the impression it needs high nitrogen. Apparently not for this this type of soil. This loamy sand is what we're on right now. I don't know if the soil type will change, but yeah, you can pay attention up in the top left and see how much we're putting out is fluctuating. Right now we're doing 120 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare. And yeah, you can see, let's just pull up the map here. So you can see down here where we had the wheat, we've got some places that are similar color, that light green compared to the light yellow we've got up here with the corn. But then there's also where the soil types are different. It's all the same crop, but some of it is darker green because it needed more nitrogen. Some of it's a little lighter green, and some of it's really dark up here, which is reflected by the type of soil, as you can see. So yeah, we've got loamy sand here, and then this brown is called loam. So we will have some different nitrogen values to split across the field. Let's keep cracking on this. It shouldn't take too long. This fertilizer spreader is very large. It's 42 meters wide. So, you know, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes for the whole field, which is good. Very good. As you can see, while we're doing the darker green in the bottom left, our nitrogen application goes up to about 190 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare, which is up from 110. So that just shows the difference in how much you put out based on what soil you're on. But anyways, as I said, that was gone like that. Like, it was a super fast field. Let's see if there's any contracts for fertilizing, because those are always easy money. There's no contracts available. So looks like we'll be moving forward. There's nothing to do here until, well, let me check and see when the wheat and canola harvest will be. Looks about June. Obviously, I won't be skipping straight to June. There will be a few things for us to check on in the meantime, such as keeping the greenhouses stocked with water, moving the pallets out of the way so more can spawn in if the storage gets full. And at some point, when the bakery has room, we'll be moving all of our flour from the grain mill to the bakery in order to keep producing more bread, because we do have a little bit of flour that's done producing at the grain mill, just sitting there waiting for the bakery to have room for it. So at some point we'll be getting into that. We might have to spray some weeds off of the field, the cornfield. I'm not sure yet, so we'll have to play that by ear and see what we're doing there. But yeah, so far we've been doing some pretty good stuff today, but we'll be moving into April. It's April, and I did have a look at the contracts. There's a sowing contract on field 8 to plant sunflowers, so I'm going to go ahead and do that one. That should make us $12,000 minus whatever we paid to rent their equipment. But yeah, field 8 is this one down here, which is right in our little neck of the woods here. It's not even as big as field 1, so this shouldn't take too long, and it's $12,000 easy dollars. There is also a fertilizing contract I might take. I'm not sure yet. Oh, never mind, it's gone. So it's a good thing we took that contract when we did. There are some seeds, or some weeds rather, on the top, the field 3 part. Remember, these were 2 different fields that we plowed into one. And this one was plowed because there had a withered crop on it. Same with field 1, which is why there were no weeds growing on them. But field 3 and field 4 didn't need plowed because they were already plowed. But the game didn't recognize them as plowed, I think, so they grew weeds, because fields that are plowed shouldn't grow weeds in the game, but apparently these ones did. So we're going to go ahead and hop in the Fendt Favorite 515. Hot fire this thing up, and we'll go and spray that field, and then we'll also we'll get our own planter as well as the planter that we rented for the contract, so that we can knock that contract field out really quick. But first, they're gonna spray some herbicide on our own field, and we'll have a look at our other fields too. Looks like the greenhouses are about full of pallets, so we'll have to move those out of the way so new ones can spawn. Here's the canola. You can see it's in a new growth stage from last time. Starting to get the little buds on it, and that'll flower in a couple of months, I'm sure. That is one thing I suppose I should save up for. When we do this wheat field, we're going to want to be able to pick up the bales from it, so, or bale the straw and then pick up the bales. So I don't have the money for a baler right now, because the cheapest one is the Vermeer baler, I believe. Well, unless we're going with the baby baler, that's $22,000. But then the Vermeer baler is $56,000. So we could go with this Pottinger, which is cheaper, I guess, but that's only 125 centimeter bales, which isn't exactly what I was hoping for. But yeah, a little hard to see. There we go, that's a little better. The sun's reflecting off the spray a little better there, but as you can see, the weeds are green before we hit them. They turn to gray after we hit them, showing that they are sprayed and dead. Obviously, in real life, they don't immediately turn gray. It takes a few weeks, sometimes a few days, depending on what you're using to kill off the weeds. But yeah, for the purposes of the game, it's instant. That way you can know where you've gone and where you haven't. Alright, I'm not sure quite where the field cuts off. I think it was back there, so We'll go ahead and turn her around and finish up just this little top part. Herbicide is quite expensive, so I don't want to spray it more than I have to, which is why I'm not going to spray that field because it doesn't have any weeds on it. I'm going to be careful to hit only where we haven't gone yet, or to try my best anyways. And then we will be moving on towards that planting contract. Currently working on getting the cedar, our planter, filled up here at our farm. And then we'll also have to go and pick up their planter for the contract. I love that sound. Okay, field 8. What's the best way to get there? Looks like we are going to have to take this road down and around our field 1. So let's go ahead and get our planter there. Theirs is bigger. They have the Horsch Maestro 12 meter. We have the Horsch Maestro 6.75 meter. So theirs is almost double the size of ours, but ours will still go faster. The job will go faster if we do have our planter there. So that's why we're taking it. It's not going to be twice as fast because our planter isn't as big as theirs, but it's going to be very good to have two planters working on it. So let's go get theirs after we get ours down there, and we'll get them both set up. And I believe they're using the Challenger MT700, which is a pretty cool little tractor. Not that it's very little, it's quite large, just like this one. But yeah, I do enjoy that tractor pretty well. We'll also get to have a look at our field here of wheat. We never did look at it earlier. It's looking like it's also at a higher growth stage than it was last time we saw it. So in a couple of months, it'll be ready to go, ready for a good harvest, and I hope we get a ton of yield off of that field. And we'll get to use our harvester for the first time. It's just been sitting over there in our shed on the farm. Oop, I need to change the seed to sunflower instead of corn. Alright, field 8 should be that one up in the top left, right after our field. I'm not seeing an entrance anywhere. We'll see if there's one up here. If not, we'll just go down over this little bank. Yeah, doesn't look like there's an entrance, so we'll just come down here. Hopefully the ditch isn't too steep. Got a bit of air there. Alright, very good. Let's hop in their tractor. Yep, and we're going to have to use our seeds, unfortunately. Okay, how much seed is it going to hold? It'll do 2 pallets, so 2,000 liters. And we'll just stick with 2,000 for fertilizer. Alright, let's go ahead and get the planter on down to their field. And then we'll get both of these planters going. And that's probably where we're going to wrap things up today. So enjoy the time lapse. Guys, I just realized the planter was set to plant corn, so I just did a whole lap around the field and started going down the middle, planting corn. The contract was for sunflowers, so it's reading 0% done because I have 0% of the field with sunflowers. That's really embarrassing and quite frustrating. So I've got our 4755 here with the plow. We're going to go ahead and plow up all the corn we just planted, switch the planters over to sunflowers, and then we'll finally be able to get in there and start doing that contract. Oh no. It's not letting me plow it because I don't have access to the land. So I can't fix my mistake. Oh, that really sucks. I'll just have to dump all my seeds out of this and then just quit the contract, I guess. That really sucks. So we can't make our money. Fortunately, we didn't buy anything for that, so we're not down anything except the seeds that I put in, which may be $1,000, $2,000 there, which is unfortunate. But yeah, man, that really sucks. Just shows why you got to pay attention, man. I did remember to change my planter over to sunflower, but I obviously forgot to do the contract owner's planter, so just screwed ourselves over there. That's okay. There's no more contracts to take for now, so let's have a look and see what our productions are doing. Alright, so we have about 20,000 liters of storage space available in the bakery. And we've got, I think, 11,000 liters of flour, so we should be good to go there. We can bring the flour over. Let's just go ahead and do that, and then we'll wrap things up for today. Okay guys, we're finally here. Had to do a lot of driving. As you see, I did put the forklift on its own little trailer because I didn't want to drive it at 12, 13 mile an hour all the way down here. So that should hopefully save us some time. Let's make sure we've got this to the right spot. And then open that curtain. Let's get her loaded up. There's all of that loaded up. Let's get this forklift back on the trailer. That could have gone better. Pretty difficult. This is a small little low loader here. With the right amount of finagling, you can get this forklift on there. And I think that was the right amount of finagling there. Put the fork down. Shut her down and let's get in the fence. Whoopsies. Let's get these locked down here so they don't go sliding around. I did that once. And let's head on over to the bakery so we can make some more bread. And there's a whole lot of it brought to the bakery. So as you can see here, we got 6 pallets already. That's $30,000 plus right there. So I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a pretty good payday whenever it's finally done. If we take a look at how much we got 50,000 liters of flour, which is going to make 25,000 liters of bread. That's 25 more pallets. So, yeah. If 6 pallets is 30 grand, we're going to have 31 in total. So, that's looking like a pretty good deal, pretty good payday there. So, hopefully it'll pay definitely for the cost of buying the bakery and the grain mill. Hopefully for the trailer here too, so that we can make a net wash on the first year, make break even. But we do have a field, remember, we have a field of wheat that we're going to be harvesting and putting right back in that grain mill. This field right here is wheat. And it's almost done. We'll be harvesting that in the next episode and trucking it right to this grain mill here to start that process all over again. So that should definitely, this will be our breadwinner. Sorry guys, that was a bad pun. This is going to be our moneymaker here on the farm for a bit. Eventually we'll be getting into some other things, but yeah, for now, that's where I'm going to leave this episode. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like. That really helps me out, helps some other people see it, and hopefully they like it just as much as you do. If you like this series, you want to see the next episode as soon as it comes out, feel free to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell so that you can be notified right when the next video drops so you can catch it right away. That's all from me for now, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.